know how to make the Cinderella dress. Do you know like the fiber optics? Oh.
Remember the Cinderella live action in 2015? Actually, the dress in the film probably was created from the CG, but with the use of the optical fiber, it is possible to make this elegant dress into real life. See? From this simple fabric into the luminous fabric. Kinda cool, right?
But with optical fibers, how do you clean it?
With nanotechnology, of course. But wait. How with nanotechnology? Titanium dioxide.
And at the same time, if you coat the textile with titanium dioxide nanoparticles, your textile will become very clean. Since these tiny particles are capable of killing this bacteria on your clothes. To make it, you have to get your favorite fabric that you want to be glowing first. And then incorporate the optical fiber throughout the area that you want to be luminous and connect it with the UV LED. Next, coat it with the titanium dioxide nanoparticles. Finally, you will get your luminous fabric that you can modify it into a Cinderella dress. Once you open the UV LED, the optical fiber will create glowing light, while titanium dioxide nanoparticles makes the fabric clean throughout the process called photocatalysis, with an additional self-cleaning properties. Briefly explaining, when the titanium dioxide is exposed under the UV light, it will generate the reactive oxygen species or radicals that can break down the bacteria. Therefore, if you want to be a Cinderella, you can.
Okay, but talking about your optical fibers and Cinderella dress transformation, I was thinking about another transformation in movie.
What is
It's
that?
Barbie. Have you guys ever watched Barbie when you were younger?
Yeah.
My favorite one was the one with glittering dress and fairies and fashion designers in Paris.
You mean that pink dress?
Yes, the iconic pink dress.
In the film, the fashion fairies turn Barbie's dress from pale pink to vivid Barbie pink color. In reality, the technology has come so close to that. A Japanese brand, Unreal Age, made an appearance in the Autumn-Winter 2023-24 fashion show. Although they don't have glitter flowing everywhere, the dress can change colors with the UV radiation.
Wait, but does it use the same technique as with the Cinderella dress? I don't think so.
Yeah, it uses different concept, but let me explain this.
In a short clip, we'll see that the colors change upon the sliding purple light that is the UV light. The science behind the color-changing clothes is the use of photochromic dyes on fabrics. The photochromic dyes change color when exposed to sunlight or UV ray. There are many types of photochromic dyes. The example on the right is one of them. As you can see, the UV light alters the chemical structure of the dye, for example, from closed ring to open ring. But the structure with open ring can also return to its original form by heat.
But how come it changes color?
Once the dye is exposed to the UV light, its chemical structure will be altered, as we saw in the previous slide. The new configuration would affect its absorption spectrum, leading to a different color that our eyes perceive. Because photochromic dyes have many unsaturated bonds, they're very sensitive to environmental factors such as pH values, solvents, and oxidations. Also, with the dye alone, it is easily deteriorated by many rounds of UV excitation. We call that low fatigue resistance. In addition, conventional methods such as direct coating or grafting the dye onto the fabric are likely to result in a low grafting rate and short lifespan. So here comes the nanotechnology to solve the issue. By microencapsulating the dye compound, it helps improve fatigue resistance and protect the dye from the environment. Plus, the microcapsules can be decorated with functional groups or charges for better fabric adherence.
Wait, so how do we use those technology in our day-to-day application?
Let me think. Well, we're exposed to UV rays almost all the time, whether they're from the sun or from lamps in your house. Although we know the danger from high intensity or long duration of UV exposure, we might not be aware of its presence. But imagine that there is a wearable UV sensor on our body that keeps tracking your UV exposure. As we learned that photochromic dye changes its color when exposed to UV light, scientists and engineers incorporate the dye into nanofibers, which will be made into clothes. In the absence of UV, the cloth will stay white. When it is exposed to UV light, it will become pink. The higher the UV intensity, the deeper the shade of pink. Therefore, by interpreting the color changes on the fabric, we can get the data on UV exposure. But comparing the shades of pink might be difficult. Thus, the color change is assessed by converting it into grayscale. So, the higher the intensity, the deeper the gray shade. To fabricate the photochromic nanofiber, first, polyurethane, which is a thermoplastic polymer, will be mixed with spiraloxazine, which is an organic photochromic dye. Then, the solution will undergo electrospinning, which is a micro or nanofiber production method, using electrical force to draw polymer into a very fine fiber. And lastly, we will get photochromic nanofibers which can sense UV light, have large surface area, high porosity, and high fatigue resistance.
Oh yeah, that's it!
Wait. Those are movie scenes. I have application of what we see in daily life. Lifeguard vests. Those lifeguard vests that we see in security guard wears at night, those reflective parts are also made by nanotechnology.
That one?
Exactly. Let me talk about it.
Reflective materials like lifeguard vests are used in fashions. These reflective materials textile use what we call glass bead technology. Using nanotechnology to create those beads textures on the layer of those fabrics at nanoscale can create those retroreflection properties. These beads reflect light through a process called retroreflection. That means when light hits the bead, it bends and bounces directly to the light source, not scattered in all directions like a regular reflection, creating those reflective materials. Oftentimes, for the best reflectivity, there are often backing layers underneath those beads, sometimes with aluminum or reflective paint, that can be used and applied using nanotechnology applications. These enhancement of reflectivity helps an application or lifeguards and safety vests that are very visible at night. Provides security and safety for those that are wearing those safety guard at night to be visible for all viewers. By applying those nanoscale particles to be embedded in the beads of the layers of those textile fabrics creates increased durability and flexibility and washability for those fabrics that is suitable for safety guard vests, running gears, and also fashion items, creating those long-lasting reflectivity properties.
Another example of nanotechnology used in daily clothes is wrinkle-resistant fabrics. Have you guys heard that Gen Z tends to iron their clothes less frequently than the previous generations? But then if we want to dress appropriately and properly, I have a solution. But first, let's understand what causes wrinkles. Let's use cotton as example. The cotton fiber is derived from the hairs of the cotton plant seeds. The main component is cellulose. The cellulose fibrils and the hydrogen bonds are easily broken down by water, and the structure-free formation might result in wrinkles and creases. But by incorporating titanium dioxide nanoparticles into cotton fibers, they help increase the wrinkle resistance, reduce the bending length of cotton fabric. So that's why we can create the wrinkle-resistant fabric.
So apart from those movie scenes to real-life application of fabrics that like reflective materials to wrinkle-resistant fabrics, you can really see that nanotechnology itself are in our textile fashions to elevate the way we do fashion.
Exactly. So if you want to know more about nanotechnology, come to ISE Nano.